Hello everyone and welcome back to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. And let's just continue where we left off. And I'm gonna work some more on engineering. Congress challenges you to come up with a logical paradox that will stump her artificial intelligence. You and your classmates spend a whole day trying to wrap your heads around the concept of a paradox, coming up with more and more complex sentences. Finally, you land on the obvious one. This statement is false. Congress doesn't even blow up or anything. She laughs and congratulates you, and tells you that her internal logic is safely partitioned away from where humans could access it by accident. I guess that's a good thing. Noise. $31. We need 9 more for to be able to help Rex. Yes. You spot Tangent leaning against a wall outside engineering. She's yawning, rubbing her eyes and staring off into space. She startles as you walk up. Oh, Selene, I was just taking a short break. Yawns are infectious. Join in and yawn too. Did you stay up all night too? She asks. I don't even remember when I slept last. It might have been a few days ago. You haven't slept in 2 days? More like 3, she replies, then pauses for another jaw-cracking yawn. But as I said, I'm tired. Even my enhanced body has limitations. You look at her quizzically. I don't need to sleep as much as other people. It's a genetic... what's it? She says foggily. You know, a DNA enhancement. I guess sometimes I even forget to do it. I should set myself a reminder. Hello, add to schedule, sleeping nightly 2300 for 3 hours. Her holopalm emits a tone in response. Tangent nods sleepily. That should do it, she murmurs. Her eyes are practically closed. Find her a place to take a nap. Tang follows you obediently into the engineering wing, too tired to protest. You slip into medbay to grab a blanket and pillow off a shelf. By the time you return, Tang's already fallen asleep, curled up in an egg chair in the waiting area. You gently place a blanket over her and she hums happily before going slack with much-needed sleep. Oh, I'm glad that she's sleeping at least. Okay, there's... Nomi wants to talk. Not this, not Cal. Okay. Well, let's go and talk to Nomi then. Let's give you a hug first. Doing anything fun? Yep. I'm coming in for another hug! Again? Rex laughs but wraps you up in a great big bear hug all the same. Hello, Nomi. Nomi is camped out in the lounge, their holopad screen spread out before them like a drawing table. In another screen, there is a collection of photos of a manticore. Nomi looks between the two screens, their brow furrowed in concentration, as they scribble directly onto the screen with a stylus. What are you doing? Well, Nomi replies thoughtfully, I wanted to write and illustrate a story about aliens like in Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform, except using the Xenos here on Vertumna, like manticores and faceless and stuff, but they can talk and instead of attacking the colony, they help people instead. That sounds cool. Thanks, Nomi chirps, scribbling happily at their drawing. I got the idea from the second Turbo Girl Hyperjet OVA. You know, the one where the Medusa demons show up and the aliens and the Turbo Girls have to band together to defeat their common enemy. I remember that part. Nomi looks up at you with a start. Oh, they exclaim. That reminds me. So, I'm trying to brush up on my xeno anatomy.
And I'm totally fine with writing, but
They blow out a big breath, ruffling their bangs.
I kind of haven't been here long enough to make sure it feels right, to make it go pop. And I want to make sure I'm being, sensitive about stuff I don't know a lot about. So I was wondering, could you help me with some of the world building?
I'd love to. You spend an enjoyable afternoon helping Nomi with their story. When you're done, they give you a big hug and thank you profusely for your help. You feel really proud of what you've accomplished. Yeah, and honestly, personally, I feel like that is not an impossible dream. That it could be like that if we don't keep, attacking them. If we try to understand them instead. You spend time studying the wormhole exit which orbits the planet. You think sometimes it looks like a big eye watching you. Or maybe like a big butthole. You can't put that in your report. Why not? There we go. That should give us, that gave us a little pip there. Which is extra card draw. Draw an extra card at the start of a challenge. Affect stacks. Awesome. And we still need, more. Need to get up to 40, I think. It's time for your end-of-term project. You're partnered with Tang and Nomi to come up with a project that uses everything you've learned about math, physics, computing, robotics, architecture, and astronomy.
I know, Nomi exclaims. We should go down to the helio engine room and see if it makes us think of anything.
Great idea.
That's not a terrible idea, actually, Tang agrees slowly. We could do a comparison of the Helio's superior engine and talk about how Earth technology improved in the years between the stratospheric and the heliopause leaving Earth.
Nomi nods excitedly and leads the way.
No offense, but we also had, way better funding than you guys.
Nomi explains as you head down into the belly of the Helio.
Like government funding, right? Not just dark web stuff, but actual factual space travel budget. People were so mad when you guys left. The world didn't believe the strata would even make it off the planet, but when you did, everyone left behind got super competitive. So our technology is so much better.
You and Tang try not to roll your eyes as Nomi chatters away. You split up to take a look at all the different components of the Helio engines, from the cooling system to the nanocell reactors to the complicated banks of computers that all once housed the Helio's much less powerful onboard AI. The Helio might be newer, but nothing beats congruence. You're leaning in to take a look at some faded warning sign about pacemakers when you hear Nomi yell,
Oh no! Guys! I think I broke it! Help, I'm stuck!
Help them? You and Tang rush over to where Nomi is sprawled out in a tangle of cables wrapped around them like a nest of snake bugs. Nomi looks too terrified to move, and for good reason. Every time they do, more wires snap free of their connections and contribute to Nomi's growing distress. The panel behind them beeps in warning.
Help me! Nomi, please, I'm afraid to move. What if I turn off life support or something?
We have oxygen to breathe. It's delicate, stressful work, but together you and Tang manage to pull Nomi from the disaster. You look down on the jumbled, hopeless tangle with growing fear. You're going to have to rewire everything and hope you get it right. Fix the power array. Phew. Definitely glad that I got that 9. You all breathe a sigh of relief when all the cables are reconnected and everything stops beeping.
I knew we could do it, Nomi says, looking relieved. And now we know how it all works.
You work together on your final project, which is a full schematic of how the Helio engines work. Nomi contributes some intensely detailed drawings, and Tang makes sure everything is correct. You write up the comparison between the Helio and the less complicated Strato. Congruence looks over your work.
Congratulations, you three. This is wonderful work. You officially passed, but there's always more to learn and more to teach the others. By the way, she adds with a wink, good work repairing that power array as well. Don't worry, I won't tell.
Nice. We got increased rewards.
Which is awesome.
Maybe check if there's anything to pick up anywhere. Doesn't look like there is. Oh, no, there is. Hello, bobber fruit. Alright, well, let's go and see what the rewards are now then. So we are at 38, so we need one more anyway to be able to assist Rex. Now we get... Okay. That is not... Didn't it say that you got more rewards from that? Huh. Interesting. Oh. We need 2. We should be able to get that with the stuff we get from the last thing when we get to work. You helped Nomi with their physics and math homework this month. They're as hopeless as ever, but they really want to do well in this class. Their dedication is admirable, even if their execution is usually a disaster. Awesome.
Whew.
You're browsing the colony bulletin board on your holopalm over breakfast when you notice a new post from Nomi. It seems to be a short story. The title is Xenos to the Rescue. Whoo boy. You open the story and read through it. Wow, it's actually pretty good. Nomi did a great job of grounding the unrealistic premise of talking manticores with relatable characters and a strong emotional story. With your help on some of the finer details, Nomi's written something that truly elevates the art form. You get the notification through your holopalm that you've received some kudos along with a message from Nomi.
Thanks for the help, Selene. Here are your royalties.
Thanks. Alright. Oh, new perk. Autoplay Fairy sometimes plays the best hand for you. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, we should now be, able to help Rex. Hey. Hey.
Rex whistles at you as you approach, giving you a heated up and down with his eyes. Do you do something different with your hair? He asks, then leans in to sniff you. New cologne? No, is that a new shirt? Whatever you're doing, it's working for ya. He makes a claw with one hand and growls sexily at you, then cracks up. Help Rex build something. Actually, I'm working on something right now, Rex says, producing a holoprojector. It looks so familiar. Wait, it's the holoprojector you used to watch vids on in the crash. It's been broken ever since the crash was destroyed. I was hoping you could help me fix this up. I want to have outdoor movie nights. You help Rex bring the holoprojector back to life, then help him make an outdoor theater for it, complete with overhead lights and comfortable places to pile up your bedding. Aunt Anne provides the snacks. Rex looks at it with pride. We just have to figure out what to play for our opening night. Cool. Is it actually out here? I feel like it won't be. But I'll look around. And I should also try to figure out what we're going to work on. I feel like the yellow stuff is what I kind of need to, or maybe should work a bit more on, but I don't know. What is it that we earn here? Toughness, biology and toughness. We don't need biology. Organizing. Maybe not. What about here? That's creativity and empathy. Could do that. We're close to getting the first perk for empathy. Yeah, let's do that. Help in the kitchens. Congress has barely any guidance on how to cook alien plants. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, let's get to work. Seen that one before. Almost. And now, glow. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's gonna happen this time when the attack happens? Good question. Very good question. Let's talk to Cal. Cal looks troubled as you enter the gardens. Do you hear that? He asks, cocking his head to the side. Usually, all the critters make more noise than this. I wonder what's going on. Don't know. Preparing for the attack. There it is. This is standing stock still, staring out into the wilderness. It doesn't matter what we do or how we fight, he mutters. Nature is going to win in the end. It always does. Is my bravery at? 35. Okay. Let's just go and help in the kitchens again. Aunt Anne is waiting for you in the kitchen. When you arrive, there's a strange new smell in the air. You're here, Anne says. I wanted to tell you something before you get started today. She gestures you over to the stove where an enormous yellow pot of stew is boiling cheerfully. As you know, the colony was founded on vegetarian principles, she says. Raising animals for their meat on Earth was, well, it wasn't very nice, and it took up a lot of Earth's resources, soil and water and feed, that we couldn't bring with us on a spaceship. You nod, though there are animals on the ranch that produce milk or syrup or high-protein berries. You've never actually cooked meat. Well, Anne continues, humans have been eating animals for a lot longer than we've been farming them. We used to hunt animals for food and for their furs. Sometimes the ranchers have to slaughter an animal and, well, some of the foragers... She smiles and wafts the steam from the pot towards her nose, inhaling deeply. Well, sometimes they bring back an animal they've found out there, and it's time we start serving them in the canteen. Anne holds up her hands, warding off your concerns. I know you might find this idea uncomfortable. I want you to remember that this is no different than what would happen to them in the wild. Most animals are eaten by other animals. Meat is healthy and good for us, she adds, and we need to take advantage of every possible food source. That means, of course, we're not going to waste any part of the animal. Even the bones can be boiled to make stock. Anne sets her hands on your shoulders. Ask Congress for a tutorial on butchering and preparing an animal and follow her instructions. It needs to be cooked to a certain temperature to make sure it's safe to eat. I've already started this stew to save you some time, she says. While it's simmering, you can start on learning what you'll need to know for tomorrow. With that, she kisses you on the forehead and bustles out of the room. Like always, Anne has left you to manage things in the kitchen without her help. What do you do with this power? Embrace your meaty destiny? The stew smells delicious, like beans, but better? You can't wait to serve it to everyone. You enjoy an afternoon of stirring stew and watching holo videos. Congruence runs you through a few simulations of how to butcher an animal, and you get a lot of practice for the real thing. Aunt Anne is right, you think. Humans can survive on a plant-based diet, but when food is scarce, you'll be happy to know these skills. Alright. Oh boy. You're just putting your boots on to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony's sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Ugh. They couldn't have waited until you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. Your holopalm chimes with the usual reminders for all civilian colonists to stay indoors. Oh? Huh. Interesting. What did I say? Bravery at 40. Right. Our bravery is 35. Sure. Governor Lum is so confident in the colony's defense these days that there aren't even designated emergency shelters, so your room is the safest place to be. You post up in bed and scroll through Congruence's media library, intending to wait out the attack here. You wait a long time. The sounds of fighting don't cease for hours, long past dinner time and well into the evening, then even past the usual changing of the guard. From your window, you can see blast rifle fire atop the walls and the steady phew of the laser turrets, bright flashes fighting back the gloom of glow. You want to stay up, but eventually it gets so late that you force yourself to sleep. After a fretful rest, you wake to the realization that the colony is still under attack. In the perpetual twilight of glow, it's hard to tell the time, but your growling stomach knows it's well past breakfast and you missed dinner last night. While you're deciding what to do, your holopalm chimes with a priority video announcement. Governor Lum appears on your holopalm, looking surprisingly well-groomed. "Good morning, Vertumna," he says with a calm smile. "As you may know, the colony is still engaged in battle against the alien threat. The walls are holding strong and our soldiers keep mowing those Xenos down, but there is no sign of stopping yet. All non-combat personnel are to continue to shelter in place while our brave soldiers defend the colony. Non-essential work is suspended. Meals and other supplies will be brought door to door." He clenches his fist. "Stay strong, Vertumna. We'll weather this siege together." As he signs off, the colony's social media lights up with conversation. Mars and Nomi are excited to skip work and watch holovids. Tangent is frustrated she can't go to the lab and concerned for her experiments. Cal's worried about the fields. Only Vase and Nem are silent, probably because they're still out there fighting. In the permanent dusk of glow, the day seems to drag on forever. Again, you have to force yourself to sleep with the sound of gunfire drifting through your window. When you wake up the next morning, you realize you can't stomach another day of being cooped up in your room. Your anxiety has congealed into boredom. Nem and Vase are either fighting or sleeping, and you haven't heard from Diz in days. You bet your other friends would appreciate a visit, though. Join Rex and Nomi? Rex and Nomi are holed up in Rex's room, looking perfectly comfortable, being cooped up in small quarters together.
"It's just like being in space," Nomi says,
snipping at a bit of folded-up paper.
"We're not used to all this wide-open space, you know. If you're bored on a spaceship, you can only move from one tiny room to another tiny room. You have to learn how to make it fun to be wherever you are.
They open up the folded paper, creating a chain of paper figures, all connected at the hands and feet. Rex is puzzling over building some kind of birdhouse for a very big bird. He lays down a line of glue and presses a roof piece onto the walls. Honestly, it's nice to have a day off, he says. I've been meaning to build this Xeno house for a month, but the construction crew's been working non-stop. You help Rex with his Xeno house and listen to Nomi chatter away. They're so calm. Maybe this siege isn't so bad after all. 4 more days pass. You and your friends remain trapped indoors, forced to listen to the constant sounds of laser fire and rattling turrets from all around the colony. The Xenos never manage to breach the walls, but they just keep coming. Exhausted guards cycle on and off the walls in shifts, dead-eyed and listless. You catch a glimpse of Nem mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you hear a curious sound. Silence. You run out into the colony square to see the soldiers returning from their posts. It's over! Your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Lum. The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege has ended. Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, humanity. You're welcome? You hear and see Chief Rhett nearby looking livid. What did he do? He rants to his security officers. Race out there like an idiot with his honor guard? Defend strategically unsound positions? Put himself in danger so we had to save his overstuffed ass? The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually needed him, Rhett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slogged through endless shifts. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Lum. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing xenocorpses for their component molecules. That night, you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of blast rifle fire arcing overhead. With your taloned claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it in your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't find sleep again before dawnbreak. Well, that did not sound very nice. Yeah, we're now 18. Well, I am going to end this video as soon as I've looked through the colony to see anything, or see if there is anything else to collect. Oh, at least this is still around. Was a bit worried there when he was nowhere to be found, or, well, no one heard him, or heard from him during Glow. Yeah, or during the siege. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!